Today we're going to talk about wiping over socks. The general issue of wiping over footgear has been a controversial issue since the early days of Islam. In the early days, it was even an aqidah issue. Imam Abu Hanifa, rahimahullah, he mentions the issue of wiping over footgear in his aqidah book, Al-Fiqh Al-Akbar, because this was an issue that differentiated the people of a sunnah from those who are not the people of a sunnah. I even remember in Al-Yemen, there were some masajid of the Zaydiyah, and they had a pool of water at the entrance because they wanted to make sure when you go to the masjid that you get your feet wet, because they reject the idea of wiping over footgear. However, in modern times, we've seen that this discussion or controversy has shifted to being more of one of a fiqhi issue, and in particular, in very recent times, we've seen debate over wiping over socks, because if we look at the fiqhi ruling, the actual ruling is to wipe over al-khuff. We know from the prophetic tradition that Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam and the Sahaba radiallahu anhum used to wipe over al-khuff. And al-khuff is something like a leather sock or a leather slipper. Now, of course, today it's very rare to see people wear al-khuff, and most people are wearing socks. So we've seen the debate on what kind of socks are you able to wipe over? Can you wipe over any sock? What if it's a thin sock? What if it's so thin you can even see your skin underneath it? So to clarify the issue, I'm going to relate what I've heard from one of our shuyukh, Dr. Mustafa Ilyan, hafidhahullah, and he's related what he has heard from his shuyukh, and in turn what they've heard from their shuyukh. So he told us, I asked our Shaykh Muhammad Shatti al-Damashqi, rahimahullah, about it. And he said, my father, Shaykh Hassan Shatti, a Hanbali Qa'id, who died in 1963, used to wipe over thick winter socks, but did not wipe over light ones. And our Shaykh also related, and he said, I asked our Shaykh Sadiq Musa as-Sayyid a-Nablusi about it, and he said, I saw my father, Shaykh Musa as-Sayyid al-Hanbali, who died in 1977, and he was given ijazah from a Shaykh Abdullah al-Qadumi and a Shaykh Musa al-Qadumi. He saw him wiping over thick socks, but not light ones. So I hope that this has related the authentic Hanbali position on wiping over socks. Unfortunately, in more modern times, there's been some confusion over the issue, because there have been people who have attributed themselves to our madhab and our tradition, and they've brought in positions that are not the correct positions. And in addition, we need to take the issue very seriously, because we're talking about one of the conditions of an act of worship, of a salah. So if you don't have your conditions in place, then your act of worship, your salah, is invalid. And that's a very dangerous issue, and one that should not be taken lightly. So once again, I hope this has effectively communicated what the authentic Hanbali position is on wiping over socks. And to reiterate, we said you can wipe over what we would customarily consider a thick sock and not a light sock. So inshallah, I wish you tawfiq on your seeking of knowledge, and inshallah you will be striving to meet all the conditions of your ibadah, and that we will stay firm to following the teachings of our ancestors, of our madhab. Walhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen.